Baby, so we gonna get it rolling. It ain't exclusive if it ain't a EMLN exclusive. It's your boy BQ, and it's the Low Key Facts podcast. We're in the beautiful downtown San Jose, and I'm accompanied by a very special guest. I've been keeping up with this individual for quite some time. This is very long overdue, long DMs, following back to back, but, there's a lot of busy things going on in the motions, especially during this pandemic, believe it or not. But the one and only Mr. C.Lee for the people.
Say now, add me on PayPal. This is C Legal for the people, aka the world's greatest square, aka the handsome genius, aka holla at a real one if you feel one. And I'm ready to have a good conversation. And let's build, let's progress this. Hey, if you watching this, I promise you, don't walk away. Just roll up your weed, all this shit, because you don't want to miss nothing. This shit is about to be incredible.
Super impactful, man. And there's so many things that I want to impact. I want to just be very clear, what the Low Key Facts podcast is about. So the Low Key Facts podcast is about, a lot of people already have an impression of the culture. They already have an impression of how certain things are. And basically us having these conversations is to basically uplift and talk about things that people might have thought they knew. And now they're low key like, damn, that's low key facts. I didn't even know that. And now we basically shedding a light on some real and some authentic. So this is more of a conversational type of podcast. I really want to get to know you genuinely because you are one of the few media personalities in the Bay Area. And people don't kind of look past that because they don't understand it. Mm-hmm. But it's so deep because of the fact that what we do for other people, you know what I'm saying? Because we're literally not making it about us. We're making it about other people's talents, their creative skills, and basically all the belief systems that they have. So
Absolutely.
what made you want to help people?
First I would have to give credit to my mother, because that's just something in my whole family. We just servants, we just know how to be of service to people. So for one, if I'm being completely honest, it starts at home.
Yeah.
You feel me? So that's implemented in me. And how I started in media in general, I used to be big in clothing. In the Antioch area, I was very big in clothing, and I had my own shop.
Okay.
And in my shop, we used to just have a lot of conversations.
Yeah.
So when once I stopped doing my shop, when that folded, then I just started an IG Live in 2017. So I might have closed my shop in 2014 or 2015. And then, I went through a learning period. And as soon as IG Live hit, you know what I'm saying, in 2017, I just took my audience from I had in my shop, and just took it to IG Live. And I just been building from there.
Yeah, and that's the thing too that's really interesting is that IG Live has been around for a minute, you know what I mean? But from the time period that you're mentioning is obviously the more of the beginning stages of that platform. And not a lot of people can manage that platform. I'm still having challenges to get on live and just make some content that people are actually tuning into. So I think it's a really talented skill that you got when it comes to not only addressing the audience and what you guys are talking about, but making that shit interesting to listen to, because you actually know your shit. And that's why I really look forward to this podcast, because you seem like a very well-rounded individual when it comes to the entrepreneurship, because that's the thing. That's my entry level to this game and to this culture, is that I'm not a gangster, I'm not a rapper, I'm not any of these things. I'm just an entrepreneur that comes from this background and this upbringing, and has been a fan of hip-hop and been a fan of the culture since I've been a young kid. So basically my way of introducing myself into this game was providing a platform and making it about other people and doing dope ass content and highlighting others. So that's why I really enjoyed, watching your content and watching you every step of the way, because it's you just keep coming. You know what I'm saying? There's something new. Bro, your content is so consistent. I can say I'm consistent when I drop something every week, but you're literally dropping raw, produced, and edited content to the point where it's you really got to stay tuned to keep up with what you're working on.
Absolutely.
Just as of recently, I saw you were, doing something amazing for the people in the city. I'm not too sure on where geographically you're doing it, but I know that you're helping out people that need assistance in the sense of therapy, and you're providing an outlet for certain individuals. I'm not mistaken. You've already took 5 people to therapy sessions, which is amazing.
We just doubled that number. We at 10 now.
Sheesh.
But I started therapy maybe a month ago, and I see how impactful it is. So, the game gods put it on my spirit. Look, people need this, especially now.
Yeah.
When you seeing all these images in the media, when you know what these people are going through, people need help. So if you got it, or if you have the resource to do it, do it.
Yeah.
That's why we get blessed. We get blessed to be servants to others. And if you misuse those blessings, then the game god's gonna spank you. That's why you see so many fucking rappers fall off and end up going broke, because if you don't use your moment properly, then all will be stripped. To whom is given, much is required. And if you don't do what's required, you're gonna be stripped. It's just that simple. So therapy is one of those things that I seen people need it because I needed it. And it don't make you crazy. It don't make you weak. It makes you strong to acknowledge an issue and go fix the issue because new levels, new devils. So when you hit new areas in life, new like places in life, whether it be mental, financial, emotional, or physical, you got to start dealing with those issues different than what you used to deal with them. Because you can't be, 20 dealing with issues the same as when you was 15.
Yeah.
You can't be 30 dealing with issues the same way as you was 20.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That
so
causes
you have
a
to
cycle.
evolve.
That causes a cycle
So
for your generations.
You got to break those cycles, and therapy helps that. Getting a different unbiased perspective from a professional, could be helpful.
Yeah. No, I think that's super insightful too, because I think mental health has been like a recent discussion this last decade. You know what I mean? It's been something that's been impacting Black and brown people of all different ethnicities all across the board for years and almost decades, almost generation. And I resonate with that a lot because I feel like there's a lot of things that we have to unlearn. You know what I'm saying? Like we've already been taught subconsciously how to handle certain things, and we don't even know that that's damaging to our brains. You know what I'm saying? Like we're basically not looking at the situation for what it is, and we're justifying our wrong actions by things that have fucked us over and traumatized us in years past. And the reason I resonate that too is like, it's funny we touch on this because, it's not funny, but it's like it connects because I had a real conversation with my pops, and you just asked me off camera earlier, I didn't know you were Nicaraguense and shit, right? And I think that's dope that we unpack that because my family, I'm a first generation American. You know what I mean? My dad, he came from Nicaragua, and when he was 18 years old, because there was a war going on, so people and my uncles and aunts and shit were getting sent to the war during the draft. People didn't have a choice, so it wasn't like people were surviving to just get by. It was surviving to live. So he came to America when he was 18, and eventually he started off doing truck driving, working at Jack in the Box, Shakey's Pizza. That's an old school joint right there on the east of San Jose. And basically, like, he worked his way up to where now he's a IT expert for a tech company right here in downtown San Jose. So the elevations of the process that he went through really put me in a great position to do shit that I love doing. Absolutely. You feel me? So without his hard work and his sacrifices, I wouldn't be where I'm at now. Now, where this connects to the mental health thing is that, my dad lost his mom when he was 10 years old. So basically, he didn't even have that nourishment and caring from a mother. And my grandpa, he had a lifestyle that required to be there for multiple people because he had children with different mothers. So he couldn't really cater to my dad to that full extent as a parent. And I seen later on how that impacted him, and that kind of like caused friction with me and my pops. And eventually, as I got older and I became an adult, I realized, wow, those are some actions that I didn't even realize as a kid. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I can address that as an adult and be like, hey, we don't gotta not talk when we in the same room. We can actually talk about shit. You feel me? And just to understand that and learn about that, it took a lot of time. You feel me? But now I'm at a place where I can go to where you had said break that cycle.
Absolutely. And with Black and brown people, when you come from poverty, it does something to you mentally because you get so focused on surviving. You can become insensitive. You can become disrespectful. You can become cold-hearted essentially because you've come from so much trauma. Yeah, you just so numb. And then when you start having children and you start dealing with other people, you start projecting all of that hurt on other people, and you don't even know you're doing it because you're just looking at it as like I'm providing, I'm surviving, but you're not knowing your actions are hurting other people. So you might be helping in one section and hurting in another area. And unless you get some help, you gonna keep repeating those cycles, and you gonna keep projecting and hurting people. And a lot of people that come from poverty go through that. And they justify it with shit. I provide for you, so you should be good.
Exactly.
But it's like,
but it's not really all about that.
Yeah,
sometimes.
It's not always about money. It's other aspects to life that are important, just as important as money. Money's important, but physical, emotional, mental, well-being is just as important as money.
I agree with that because it was crazy. Like as we're having this conversation, he was talking, and like I got a little resistance when I was addressing him about the fact that he was traumatized. I'm like, bro, I don't think anyone's told you your whole life, but you are traumatized. And I think that's the reason why you have a hard time understanding what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And once I said that, he low-key was just like receptive and just like, you know what, maybe you low-key are right. And I think that's why I commend you for doing the work that you do, because it goes a long way. Even if it is 5, 10, 12, 15 people, that's a lot of impact. A lot of impact. And I don't give a fuck what no one said. You know what I'm saying? That's impact.
Absolutely. That therapy shit cost.
Yeah, that shit probably
you know
do.
What I'm saying? So, but if you got medical benefits, go look into some therapy. But if you don't, you might have to pay out of pocket. And a lot of people, you know what I'm saying? That shit costs money. But, you know, I paid for like 2 or 3 sessions for everybody. And, you know, just get everybody's journey started. You know what I'm saying? You got to plant a seed. I'm just planting seeds.
Yeah.
So, you know, the game guys told me to plant seeds. So I'm going to just keep planting good seeds. And, you know, whatever happens, you know, I'll leave that in the game guys' hands. I'm going to do my job, though.
I like the way you approach that, though. You know, you just... You do it in the sense of it's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
You do it with intention, and then you just don't expect nothing from it.
Absolutely.
I respect that, because sometimes people count favors. You know what I'm saying? And they expect things in return.
Shit, in entertainment.
Yeah,
definitely.
Especially in the entertainment business.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, man. So back to what I was saying earlier about just like keeping up with your content. Like, you do a lot of things. And one of the things that you had mentioned during your podcast, not your podcast, recently on your post, you talked about Joe Budden was just like elaborating so much about creatives not really understanding their value, and especially in that situation, which exactly how you explain it, because the hip hop game used to be a point where it got real big to where people wanted to capitalize on it, which resulted to people getting fucked over, taking on these quick deals. But now the podcast game is becoming that, which is like when people see Joe Rogan doing what he did, they think, okay, I could get the same thing, not knowing that the same person that signed Joe Rogan is the same person that's going to cut you a short deal.
Absolutely.
So I think I think that was a valuable point that you brought up, because I think, which is why I was really excited to bring you down, because I want to learn about how you got to where you're at. You feel me? Because now, bro, like, Thizzler, you're a partner with Thizzler. Let's let the bar be straight.
I'm a partner with Thizzler.
I'm independent contractor.
Yeah, exactly.
And I respect that shit, because I have a personal brand and I go by BQ, and I eventually want to leverage that to do partnerships with other people as well. So this is why I felt like this was a very, very important podcast, because I'm not going to sit here and act like I got all the game. I want to actually learn it and get it from you specifically. So how did you position yourself to be independently leverageable to do partnerships like the one you have at Thizzler?
Well, you got to literally build from the ground up, meaning you have to really strip your ego and build from the ground up. So first I had my own show.
Yeah.
And before I even knew it did anything, before I even knew what a Thizzler was, I already had celebrities and, you know, good successful shows on my own page, on my own platform. I was already doing my own merch. My merch was selling out, my own events. I was doing my thing before Thizzler. So first, that's for any brand. You have to start somewhere, plant your own seeds first. Because if you don't plant your own seeds, you're going to be fully dependent on somebody else and at somebody else's mercy, meaning they going to be able to control you. So I had my own thing first. So even if Thizzler said, all right, we ain't fucking with you, I still go back to my own thing.
Yeah.
So it starts there. Secondly, build good relationships. So as I'm building a successful show, I'm building a lot of relationships with artists and people who have relationships with several people in the industry, from the Empires to the Thizzlers to, you know, just major label execs. So I didn't have the Filthy Riches, the D-Lows, the Remedies, the Zay-Bangs, the Beans. They were all, I already knew these people before Thizzler.
Yeah.
So once you have you have your own platform and now you have good relationships, now you can leverage that. So now you can walk into somebody's office and say, hey, I have this idea. This is what I'm thinking about doing. You know what I'm saying? Not, hey, can you help me? Like, I need a handout. No, I don't need no handouts. Now, when I walked in Thizzler offices, they was like, we don't really have no budget for this. No, we ain't trying to do this shit right now.
Yeah.
But if you can help us with this, then we can maybe work something out. So I went in Thizzler. I was helping edit. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm just trying to learn the game at this. I'm hitting the mic. I'm trying to learn the game at this point, because now I don't really know much about the industry. I know I know how to work my platform, but the inner workings of the industry I don't know. So I get in Thizzler, I'm learning the inner workings of the industry, and then at some point they like, fuck it, let's try this. They tried it. They tried, because I was already doing IG Live. They've never did an IG Live before me. So they like, shit, we see what you got going on your shit. Let's try it. Tried it on their shit, on their page.
Booming.
Boom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I knew it would.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I knew it would, because it's already been working for me, and y'all just got a bigger platform. So I'm saying it's definitely going to work. So if you listening to the story, I came in there with my own shit, my own relationships, and I pitched something to them, and I leveraged it to them like, this is what we doing. I eventually stopped working, doing the editing and helping Thizzler after I learned the game. and then I became my own independent contractor. I got back to my business.
Yeah.
So now we in contract negotiations now as we speak. You know what I'm saying? We trying to work out the right a better deal, so I can make sure I'm happy, and you know what I'm saying, and we can do real legit business as partners.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And partners meaning my content I own. What I work on, my ideas I own. Not just I'm at y'all mercy and y'all take everything. We not doing no more slave deals in 2020.
Yeah,
that shit is over with. We not getting fucked over. We not finna have your family good off all the work, and then I'm fucking around poor trying to figure it out. So we not doing that no more. In respect to them, because we are negotiating, making sure the business is right. But essentially, what I'm saying is, if you want leverage, you have to come to the table with something, and you have to be respectful. Meaning, you can't come emotional, like feel entitled. As soon as you come at somebody, anybody, not just a Thizzler, if you come at anybody feeling entitled in business, you automatically cutting yourself short. I need this, do this. No, this is what I have to offer. This is what I need from y'all. Let's come to a happy medium so we can both win and build something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And this is what I have to offer. This is where you strong at. This is where I'm strong at. This is where you weak at. This is where I'm weak at. Yeah. If we can figure how to make a happy medium, everybody wins. And that's called doing business. Hell yeah. Not emotions, not entitlement. That's called legit business.
I love that, man. It's literally creating a successful formula.
Exactly.
Because the formula, you got to figure it out before it could actually get to what you want it to look like.
Exactly.
The result.
That's the formula, man. And you got to start from the bottom. My live didn't start popping, or my shows didn't start popping. It took time. You know what I'm saying? Building relationships, building content, seeing what works, knowing your audience. Okay, they react to this. They don't really like this. Okay, they like the relationship topics. They may don't like the politics topics. You know what I'm saying? So it's just knowing your audience and building it brick by brick. It's more to it, but I'll be talking about that shit all day.
Nah, but we love to hear that shit. Honestly, what I take away from what you had just said is opportunity meeting preparation. Because you have to legitimately already be ready for that opportunity. Because if the opportunity comes to you and you can't handle it because you ain't got no bandwidth, then guess what? You're not going to take advantage of it. You're going to probably fall victim to the loss.
Or you're going to get taken advantage of by somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because they'll anybody in this industry will take advantage of some talent quick. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Oh, this is what you want to do.
Megan Thee Stallion with her situation with their contracts.
Exactly. You don't really get what you want in this industry. You get what you negotiate. And if you don't properly negotiate, you're going to get fucked over.
Yeah. What you allow is what you tolerate. I mean, what you tolerate is what you allow.
Absolutely.
Man. So let me unpack a little bit of the story that you started off with. So when you started, you had already started your show. So I want to break it back a little bit further because I'm trying to put myself in your position and like compare it to where I'm at and like what and how can I, unpack my formula. You know what I'm saying? So when you had your show, what was your show about initially? And then who did you specifically target?
Well, my show was targeting people that were similar to me. And my show would touch on a variety of different things, whether it would be a current topic going on in the streets, a current topic going on in the media. It was just, or, just talking to rappers or just talking to regular people. So my show was about a little bit of everything. And what my show targeted were people that were well balanced like me, meaning you from the hood, but you kind of evolved and you understand both sides. So it wasn't just for squares and it wasn't just for hood people. It was for that happy medium. And that's what I am. So I was targeting people, and I still do, just like me, because I can't cater to a super hood crowd because I'm not super hood. So they're gonna be like, this weird ass nigga. And I can't cater to a super square crowd because they're gonna be like, this nigga too ratchet. You know what I'm saying?
That's facts. That's facts.
I cater to that happy medium there, and there's an audience for that, and that nobody was tapping into because people was essentially picking a side. I was one of the first to say, look, this is what I'm on. I'm going to attack this audience right here, people who can identify with me. And, I just kept creating content that they can understand, that they liked, you know what I'm saying? And I balance. It'll be some entertainment, some ratchet shit, but then it'll be some, I can talk to a psychiatrist or a registered nurse or a lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So just keeping that healthy balance to where it's like, this shit ratchet as hell and funny, but this shit is also, damn, this is a whole bunch of game too.
Yeah, it's real.
So you know what I'm saying? That was my formula. That's how I operated. Everybody can't do it because you have to be well versed to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And if people can see that you're not being genuine and you're trying to force it, they're gonna be like, bro, you trying too hard.
Yeah.
So it's a skill. It takes some some learning, but once you learn it, it's possible.
Yeah, no, it's definitely trial and error to get to that position to kind of know and figure out who your audience is. I'm still having challenges figuring out who I want to cater to because I feel like I get so involved with the hip hop and I meet so many relationships. I just want to keep going, but then I start realizing like, wait, I'm an entrepreneur. I got to start building this and start focusing on that crowd. But you know, within time, we were able to wiggle and figure things out. And another question I have from that is, when you were targeting your audience, you specifically were doing it about like a game, basically about information, so that way they were kind of getting gamed up and relating it to your personality. Is that what you were saying?
How I did it was I basically you gotta kind of test it. Yeah. My show got real popular on my page when I started, you know, adding a little bit more ratchetness to it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it used to just be all game.
Yeah. Okay.
So basically, I what I did was just started adding ratchetness, mixing the medicine with the candy. That's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I mixed the medicine with the candy, and that's how it kind of got going. And they just started gravitating to it. It started traveling because people talk. Did you hear what such and such said? You heard what C.Lee said? Yeah. And it just starts, it's just start going
and buzzing.
And going.
And that's the thing too, like you mentioned, like the market, like you said, like you had to kind of mix it with the ratchet a little bit in the sense of like the culture, and then you had to mix it with like the game and the information. But the thing what I noticed is I feel like when it comes to that market, that's kind of like only our special market if you think about it, because in Northern California, you got Silicon Valley, you feel me? You got the tech boom, you got all the different levels of business that have grown in this part of California. So like when you look at the success from like all our teams and the businesses, people think at a different level and a frequency out here in the Bay Area. If you ask me, I might be biased because I'm from out here saying that, but when I go to other places, I see that we don't talk about the same things. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. That our culture is like that. If we just gonna be completely transparent, we got a bunch of hustlers and a bunch of people working, trying to get to it. But at the same time, motherfuckers will be out the car, you know. So we like ratchet, essentially. Yeah. That's kind of our culture. Some people don't like that, but that's the truth. We motherfuckers gonna get some money because you got to survive because it's expensive to live here. But we also gonna party like a motherfucker too. We gonna be in downtown San Jose, downtown Oakland. We gonna be in the city. You know, we might even take that trip to Vegas and go get ratchet, or Houston or Atlanta. We gonna go get ratchet out there. But when we get back, we gonna get to some money. It's kind of our culture.
It really is our culture.
It's just really about studying your audience, knowing what you're dealing with, and taking your ego out of it and be like, this may be what I want, but this is the audience here. So I got to cater somewhat to the audience without losing myself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
So, like, if my audience is ratchet, I can't just come preaching every night. They don't want to hear this every night. They don't want to just hear about politics every night. They don't want to just hear that. You got to cater to the audience without losing yourself.
Yeah, and that's a hard thing to do. You know what I mean? I catch myself doing that because I'm like, I really want to get these artists in here. Like, damn, I want to boom, 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 get these artists. But I'm like, I don't even low-key fuck with those artists. You know what I mean? I'm low-key like catching myself like, wait, I don't even low-key fuck with them. Not because of like anything they're doing that's wrong, but it's like I have no genuine interest. You know what I'm saying? I'm only looking at people's like attention, and I'm like, oh, their attention is towards these people, and I would kind of make decisions based off that. And I started catching myself like not even enjoying the podcast anymore. You know what I mean? And I want to avoid that. You know what I mean? Because I want to be me at all times. Period.
And one of the things I learned from Joe Budden podcast, and I pride myself on this, I don't make my shows celebrity based. You know what I'm saying? Because you live by the celebrity, you die by the celebrity. I made my shows content based. You know what I'm saying? So people are coming to see what we talking about, not who's on there. You know what I'm saying? So I can do a show and I can just pop shit for an hour. And people will tune in because they want to see what's with the game. They ain't looking for the next celebrity. And I learned that from Joe Budden podcast. It could be, if they have a guest, great. If not, it's still a good show. So I learned that from him for sure. I don't depend on celebrities. And I do that with Thizzler. We don't depend on celebrities to get on these shows to have good shows. We can have the average Joe who just started rapping, and we still gonna have a dope, entertaining show.
I like that, and I feel like I'm taking it with a grain of salt. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I catch myself doing only interviews. You feel me? Like I'm only doing interviews. I've experimented a few show concepts where I'm doing it with just by myself or with one of my homies, and we kind of aiming at topics, but I never really kind of like felt comfortable with it enough. You know what I mean? But that's definitely something I'm gonna look at it now because I've been doing it with that intent, like where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get I really want to be a platform in San Jose, because San Jose is an underrepresented community. Let me highlight that, because I do give Thizzler props for doing the spotlight segment on the Instagram Live, when you actually attack a specific city and you give an opportunity for every individual to kind of showcase themselves and see what they got to offer. And in San Jose, there's not a lot of media outlets out here that are trying to uplift our culture specifically, because you got the art community, you got the tech boom, you got all that shit. But when it comes to the hip hop and the raw culture that actually exists in the South, on the east part of San Jose and Seven Trees, like all these hoods that actually exist out here, people don't know about it until you actually do your homework and realize, like, oh shit, Tracks and Millions from Seven Trees. Like, oh shit, these motherfuckers actually produce some of the hits. Oh, Coast, he's a producer from the South. He does beats for SOB, I Am So, like all these different talents that are out here, but there's no one being highlighted. So that's kind of like where my goal is. But, now that I have you on the podcast, I'm actually taking this shit in and finding ways to improve. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. So how do you handle the heat that you deal with when it comes to people not agreeing with your opinions? Because I'm pretty sure you got people that take it real personal when you cut them off with the scissors and shit. I be seeing the scissor hype. So
sometimes the scissors are a good thing. Sometimes that mean your ass got to go. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends.
Yes, facts.
At the end of the day, like, everybody's not going to be happy. And because I went through a period where I was trying to please people, but it's a battle you can't win. Trying to please people would lower the quality of the show. And then the same people you trying to please, once the show falls off, oh, that nigga's a bum. His show fell off. Fuck him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you be a servant to the people, but you don't let the people control your content, because these same people that want to control your content, you need to do this, you need to do that. When it don't work, and they gonna same people, oh, you a bum, your show fell off, fuck you.
Yeah, there'll be the same people.
You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very careful and listening to certain people in the audience, because everybody don't knows what it's like to be on this side.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Very
Nobody
factual.
knows what it is to be on this side. They just, people talking what they think they know, but not many people can, say from experience. And I use this example and analogy a lot. Most people with children tell me, you ain't gonna understand till you have children. Most people with children tell me, don't tell me how to raise a child if you don't have a child.
Yeah.
Because you don't know, because you don't have a child.
Yeah.
Apply that logic to everything. Don't tell me how to run media or how to do media if you ain't never even been on the other side of a camera.
Nothing.
Because you don't have no experience, because it's a different type of energy when you get on this side, and it's more to it than you see. But yeah, man, so when I hear opinions, you listen, and there's constructive opinions and there's deconstructive. So you hear them, but certain things you dispose of, and certain things like, you right, let's fix this. Let's fix this. You know what I'm saying? And you got to really treat your show like your baby. And when your baby's hurting, and when your baby's healthy. So it's just like that. That's
very true, man, because I catch myself like, not, what I'm saying, not catering the content. I cater the content to the wrong people. When I start not thinking for myself. I end up like thinking with the thoughts of other voices and shit. Not like literally, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I'm not really making the decision for myself, and it ends up not being the content I actually end up wanting to create. So how long have you, if you would measure the time since you started doing the TV personality till now?
I've been taking this shit serious maybe about a year or two. Maybe about a year or two. Yeah, I've been at Thizzler since December. And I was doing my show like a year, like seriously before that. Yeah, I've been doing. I consider myself a media personality for. I'll give it 2 years. Maybe 3. I started doing IG Live in 2017, but taking it actually serious 2018 is when it really started blowing up, and I started taking it actual really, really serious. And that's early. Like, this shit is a longevity type of thing.
Yeah,
like,
for
most
sure.
people don't really get no energy till the 10th year.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, it's one of those kind of games. Like, I know we see things on TV where it's instant success stories, but
not always like that.
It take time. You know what I'm saying? It take a lot of time. But also, these positions have longevity too. We're not like rappers where we burn out quick. Sways and the Charlemagnes and the Joe Budden. These people have been around for some time. So that's the beauty about this position. It's longevity, but there's a long road too.
Yeah.
So it come with a lot of work, a lot of relationships, a lot of consistency, a lot of discipline, and team building.
Yeah, longevity definitely is the word to describe it. It's a marathon from the top to the beginning. Like,
Absolutely.
And like the thing is, like, just to give you a little background on me, because this is like our first time meeting, so I want to give you a chance to know how this all started. In 2015, when I was 19 years old, I decided to quit my full-time job at Sprint, working at a kiosk at Great Mall. And I used to slang phones. I used to be hella good at it. Eventually, I worked my way up to manager at the age of 20 when I decided to do, like, you know what, I want to do my own business. I just didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. I eventually started doing fashion, which is all the stuff you've seen outside. I started doing all the independent brands. I never made any brands. I don't have my own brand. EMLN is my distribution. That is my platform. I didn't treat it as a clothing brand. I treat it as like I'm going to put on other people. So I did it with fashion. Eventually, my mentor started telling me, this is a 2016 time period when Gary Vee started hitting. And then that's when I started learning about content and making raw production, documenting, and understanding the differences. Then I started doing podcasts, which was in 2016. And then that's when I told you about the whole story when I picked up Quran Streets over there and I brought him over here, because that's when I started doing podcasting, because I got someone from the streets basically that believed in my vision. And I'm like, bro, I need a front. I need something that's going to get me already, like, get the shit rolling. And, you know, I had someone believe in my vision because I trusted my hustle. I knew I could flip that money within a month. So I said, give me the money. And I was able to purchase, you know, the equipment, the Focusrite, things I had no knowledge of knowing how to use. But I brought people around me that grew up in my environment that were skilled enough to understand the game. So eventually we started doing podcasting, interviewing hip hop people and people that represented the culture. And then I started seeing, like, you know, this is all within a span of like 2015 till right now. So it's been like 5 years, and it's been trial and error throughout all these processes, because I did stuff that was actually working for me, and I did shit. There's times I went to Oakland Trap Art and Complex, and there was times where I fucking was selling. Motherfuckers was supporting me. Like, they were like, oh, this shit's hot. And I fuck with Trap Art. Shout out to Amelia and all them. And they fucking, like, all the events, what I do like pop-up shops. So basically I would set up at like Lake Merritt. I would set up at like Oakland Coliseum. I would set up in the South Capitol. I would go everywhere and sell other people's shit. And as I'm doing this, I'm building connections, because I'm that social individual that knows how to basically, you know, be personable. And then eventually I started, you know, I was doing it full time, bouncing in and out. I was doing so many pop-up shops that I was able to gross enough revenue to do it full time. And I'm like, okay, this potential in this shit. Like, actually people can fuck with this. And then, you know, I had a fallout because, like you said, you're gonna learn through people in the industry that some are not, they might not have the best intentions. They might be looking for an opportunity or a play. And I fell victim to that shit, and I ended up losing a lot of money. Like, you know, $5,000+ worth of money, and I ended up having shit, bro. I can't really go into details, but I would just say that I trusted people with a certain amount of money. It was supposed to go towards a specific thing. Ended up getting snaked, and it put me in a situation where I'm like, fuck, I owe hella money. I don't got the money, and I'm not working. So I had to basically get a full-time job, work at the mall again, doing the same shit I was doing from the fucking beginning. And then I had to start all over. And you know how that is when you treating your baby, right? And then you fucking get it snake like that. It low-key discourages you, puts you in a mental drought. And then you have to understand, like, okay, do I want to be great again? Or do I want to, like, just settle and just be like, you know what I'm saying? I had that thought because I'm like, damn, bro, like, I really was like feeling so great about everything I was doing because I loved it. You feel me? Like, I enjoyed it. So the fact that it got taken away from me, it put me in a, how you say, my heart was like, I had resentment. You feel me? So like all my decisions and the way I would move was not really pure. You feel me? It was kind of like, I got snakes, so I have trust issues, and I don't feel like I could vibe with every single person I encounter because of the fear of getting snaked. And that's not fair on other people that actually are, you know, genuine and actually got pure intentions. But eventually, you know what I'm saying, within time, we were able to kind of figure everything out. Now it's like what we do now is EMLN Labs is a production company that does series of content, docuseries, podcasts, and interviews for the urban culture. That's what EMLN Labs is. EMLN Exclusive is a distribution for urban ascending fashion. So we basically are the Macy's for urban fashion. So you can catch me at my store and you can find every independent brand in the Bay Area, which is eventually my goal. But right now I'm only handling the top 10% of brands that I inquire. So as you see, EMLN is basically an umbrella, and I'm basically attacking every niche brand in the culture of hip hop or urban. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. If I'm being honest with you,
yeah, let's hear it.
The only flaw I see in that is trying to be a jack of all trades makes you a master of nothing.
Yeah.
So you're doing so much, and I'm sure you're doing it well, but you can, if you locked in on one thing first, you can probably master that one thing first, and then everything else would come on with that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I've been there too. You like, shit, I forgot in 2016 I used to have my own podcast. It's on SoundCloud now, the C.Lee HQ show. Y'all gonna make sure y'all watch that.
We gonna plug and play.
Shit, I forgot. But I've been there too, because sometimes we so ambitious, and I can hear it, the hunger in your voice. You are ambitious, and I'm sure you're gonna accomplish everything. But just consider, just locking in on one thing.
Yeah.
And just for a moment.
Yeah.
It ain't gotta be forever. Lock in on one thing and see how much you can really just go, and see how you can go crazy and how much more progressive you can be on one thing if you just lock in on one thing. Because it sounds like when you locked in on the clothing, you was killing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So just even if it's just for a moment, just lock in. And my therapist tell me that too. Don't lock in, focus, and then you might see even more results. Yeah. But I'm sure you're gonna be good regardless, because you got hustle.
Nah, I'm listening to you though, because you're not the first person that's told me that. I've kind of learned over the years through my hard-headedness, you know what I'm saying? Because you've been able to identify, like, I'm just hungry for the shit, you feel me? Like, that I've been in situations where, you know what I'm saying, people going to jump me, people going to test me, people going to do this and that, but I'm not afraid of it because I'm doing it with the intention of trying to build something great.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, that has been the same reason for me to take the L, because I'm not listening to people. I'm just trusting my intuition. But sometimes, like, having, even my girl, for example, like, I'm about to make a decision, like an executive decision. I'm about to cut this person. I'm about to do this. She just be like giving her 2 cents. And sometimes having another perspective is enough for me to make the right decision. Not saying I'm making all the right decisions, because, that's why I feel like I did what I did with the podcast. Because if I started putting them out already, right, I would have pressure from my audience to be like, what's coming up next? What's coming up next? Now my attention is towards making podcasts instead of finishing my catalog. Because basically this catalog right here is going to drop in like 2 weeks. Keep in mind though, before I could tell you that, I was you seen the shirts? I packaged every single one of them bitches. Every single one of those shirts packaged up with my sticker, my business card, and the brand's business card and sticker in there. So I went above and beyond to deliver quality. And once I was able to finish and feel like, all right, I got this figured out, I'm going to start working on my podcast distribution. So then when that's coming out, I see it as oxygen. You know what I'm saying? My marketing is oxygen. I'm letting that shit flow out, and everyone's getting a taste of it, and everyone's breathing that shit in. And once they see that, they're going to have to embrace what other things I'm offering. But that's just me making a calculated guess. I haven't figured it out. You feel me? This is going to be an experiment, and I'm just really hoping that, with all my efforts and all the support I have, I can make this happen. But if not, it's just another lesson learned. You feel me? Like, that's just my attitude. That's why, meeting you and trying to get connected with other people in the Bay Area, I try to get game from everyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, every single person I meet, I genuinely believe that you can learn something from that person. I don't care if they're homeless. I don't care if they're a CEO, if they're a janitor, if they're a software salesman, whatever the fuck they're doing, there's some type of game that can be applicable to my life in that moment. So my next question to you is, knowing that we live where we live and seeing the opportunities around us, what are some of the, how would you say, untraditional people that you would try to network with to get game from?
Untraditional people who I would get game
So, for example, like someone I ran into, like one of the CEOs from one of these software tech companies called UpGuard. Like, I had an opportunity to speak to him one-on-one, and I could basically shoot the shits with him. It was just like a random situation because I was doing onboarding with some companies. And basically, and this is a fucked up story. I'm going to tell you anyways, because why not, right? I also, like, during this time period, I was doing software sales. Like, I was able to break in to an opportunity as a salesman, but for these tech companies. And long story short, bro, I got hired by one of these places after 6 interviews. And keep in mind, like, it's very tedious. They ask very, kind of complicated shit. But when I got to the final interview, I had a chance to ask the CEO questions I wanted to ask him. And one of the questions I asked him is like, how long you think this pandemic is going to last for? And he's like, to be honest with you, it's going to last about 3-4 years. Damn. And I said, damn, what the fuck makes you think that shit? Like, that shit threw me off because I'm over here under the impression, like, vaccines coming in 18 months, whatever the fuck people tell us, whatever, right? But then I had him explain it to me, and he broke it down based on like the Spanish flu from 1918. It took them 4 years for the economy to go back up to the level that it used to be. But in this situation, you know, our society is a little bit different. It could be faster, but having his opinion low key it changed my perspective. And that was not someone I would run into in Southside or in downtown. It's someone I would never run across from, just because of the fact that he is in this part of the world and I exist in this part of the world. So in your scenario, like, who have you encountered or who have you gone out of your way to try to get information from that you wouldn't normally talk to on a regular basis?
Prostitutes.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a different one.
Like I get a lot of game from pimps and prostitutes who I traditionally don't deal with on a day-to-day basis at first, but now with my shows and shit like that, a lot of pimps and prostitutes, I get a lot of game from them just on life, and I just appreciate their honesty and their perspective. Pimps and prostitutes are some of the most honest people I guess you have to be. You know what I'm saying? Because you live in a lifestyle that's so not traditional to most people.
Yeah.
That, you know, you got to kind of just wear it and you can't hide it. You just are who you are. And I see myself clicking with pimps and prostitutes a lot.
Yeah.
So that was shocking to me. I can get along with pimps and prostitutes more than the average square.
Yeah.
But I'm a square myself.
Yeah.
But I get along with pimps and prostitutes more than anybody. So yeah, that's the one for me, pimps and prostitutes by a mile.
So what was the thing that you agree with? Was it the way that they probably thought about a certain scenario, or is it like how you handle a situation? Like, what exactly did you like
For
agree
example, when it comes to relationships, pimps and prostitutes are basically they are putting responsibilities just as important as the love. And that's very rare, because most people say, let's love, white picket fence, I love you. A pimp and a prostitute be like, yeah, that's cool, but the money is just important because we have to survive. And that's something I identify with, because, you know, things cost, living costs, cars, food, quality of life, things cost. And when you start to study history, people used to get married for wealth.
Yeah.
That's a historic thing. So that's not off by that much. You know what I'm saying? That this bond, now obviously the way they get it is different, but the ideology of it is like, we have to hustle. Hustle is important. Money is important in this situation. And, you know, that's something traditionally people don't factor in when they come in together on love. And pimps and prostitutes are very serious about that bag.
I think what a person, if they were to like hear this, I'm looking at it like where I feel like that information would be like interesting to learn more about is if I'm with my relationship and I'm like, how can we implement that mentality of hustling together as opposed to like doing it individually? And I think that's big as fuck, you know, because like I feel like I'm low key figuring that shit out slowly with my girl. We've been together for 2 years, but like as of now, I'm doing more content, I'm doing more packaging, I'm doing more entrepreneur shit. I feel like she's been helping me formulate ideas and simpler methods.
Absolutely.
And just having someone by you to kind of like have that strong mentality.
Like most squares talk that building together shit, but pimps and prostitutes are dependent upon each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shit.
They live it. So that's where I see the difference, and it's very interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic. You know what I'm saying? I don't agree with everything.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I understand the ideology. You know what I'm saying? I can understand where they're coming from.
No, that's real, and that's something different. That's what I'm saying. Like in the Bay Area, you're gonna catch so many different things and so many different, you know what I'm saying, ways of living that exist out here that people could take shit from. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing. Like one of my mentors, his name's Ruben Harris. He's the owner of a Career Karma, and he talks about how in Silicon Valley, half of the world's billionaires live here.
Damn.
And the fact that we know that, and like don't know any of them, you feel me, or not listening to what they're putting out, you know what I'm saying, that just goes to show that living in the Bay Area is low-key two worlds now. Because you got the gentrified community, that is people that move out here that are engineers, that are software engineers working at Google, LinkedIn, whatever the case may be. They literally have no understanding of what the Bay culture is. And obviously it's like, it might be weird for someone listening to this because they're probably like, oh, you from San Ho? Like, you ain't even from the Bay Area. And that's the thing. I be hearing that conversation all the times, depending on who I'm speaking to. And I got to hear from you, because obviously, you know, I know you're from Antioch, and Antioch is considered Northern California. And some people might say it's from the Bay Area, some might not. So how do you go about with those discussions? Because I don't personally give a fuck. I love San Jose. I love where I'm from. But I do take pride being from the Bay, though.
I usually don't tell people this because I'm from Antioch on Instagram.
On the gram.
I'm actually from San Francisco, California. I went to
Hey.
Glen Park
I
Elementary
saw that
School.
415 area code.
Yeah, dig. I went to Glen Park Elementary School, James Denman Middle School, and I went to Philip Burton High School before I came to Antioch. So honestly, I love both places. I love Antioch. I love San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? My roots is in San Francisco. I started my life and my adulthood in Antioch. So I love both places. But I don't really get into those geography discussions because it's not really that important in the grand scheme of things.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I'm from here. That shit don't really matter. Like, everybody who's getting to a bag is getting to a bag.
Yep.
So I'm going to get to a bag with a motherfucker from Antioch, from the city, from San Jose, from fucking Wisconsin. Like, we gonna handle business. We grown as fuck.
Yeah.
That shit is important when we was in high school. Like, back during the hyphy movement and back in those days when, I'm from here. That shit was important back then. Once you become an adult, that shit don't really matter. It's real niggas and bitch niggas from everywhere. It's good people and bad people from everywhere. So where you from, I hear you. I get it. Take pride in where you from, yes. But that shouldn't be your end all be all.
Yeah.
So taking pride in where you from is one thing. Loving where you from, like I said, I love San Francisco. I love Antioch, but it's not my end all be all.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm C.Lee. Like, I'm a grown ass man with businesses, integrity, and things that are more important than just geography. Plus, with gentrification, so many people been kicked out of their cities. That conversation is like not really important because you rep in a place where you can't even afford to live no more.
You don't even own any land.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like you super repping this place hella hard, and you couldn't move back if you wanted to because the houses are going for $1 million and the rent is $4,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment. So
it's fucking ridiculous.
What are we really talking about? You know what I'm saying? So I just think certain conversations are just not, to me personally, aren't really important. You know what I'm saying? I know where I'm from. I know where I can go. I know where I don't go. You know what I'm saying? And it's all love.
No, I agree with that. I feel like I run across that a lot, you know what I'm saying, especially out here in San Jose, because like I'm focused a lot of my efforts in San Jose. I'm slowly trying to branch out and highlight other people in different cities. But one of the things I noticed is that a lot of people do have that mentality, and which is why I'm glad I asked you and you gave me that answer, because I feel like people need to hear that.
Absolutely.
Because, I feel like having that mentality low-key boxes and limits you in the sense of like what you want reaction from. You're worried about a reaction from someone you went to high school with or someone that's down the block from you, as opposed to like getting someone from New York to slap your shit.
Absolutely. That shit, you got to just, like I said, take pride in where you from, but you got to work. Plus, if you just look at the industry, it's people popping up from all over the place. So it's like that shit, where you from ain't going to carry you no more.
Yep.
You got, you know what I'm saying? You got to be talented. You got to be entertaining. You got to be somebody. You got to really grab the people.
And, so, you've been doing, like I said, you've been doing a lot of ventures and a lot of stuff on the Instagram, most importantly, your personal content. What are some of the, people that you've encountered through interviews and through networking that have been a really stand-up person, someone that you, like, genuinely connected with and you kind of, like, appreciated the way that they were?
A lot of the DJs, actually. I knew DJ ASAP before Thizzler, so that's one of my guys. He be out here in San Jose a lot.
Hey, I think I heard of him first, as a matter of fact.
Who are some of the people? I'm gonna keep it real on this podcast.
Yep.
I try to stay away from rappers, and I'm gonna be very vulnerable here. I try to stay away from rappers because this industry is a very manipulating, narcissistic industry. Meaning, your value is like people only like you as much as you're valuable.
Yeah.
So basically, our friendship is determining on how valuable you are to me. I try to stay away from that because mentally it's unhealthy. Because I'm not built like that. I deal with people based on who they are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Remedy's somebody who I've been knowing for the last 4 years, and we have a genuine bond outside of music.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And before I was popping, Remedy was my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like I try to stay away from industry people like that because I can't function like that. I'm not happy dealing with people who I know are only dealing with me because of some clout, or it's a manipulative situation. I have to work on it because if I want to navigate the industry, I'm gonna have to learn how to be a little bit more fake, you can say. But I'm not really with it as of now. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I don't really have to be because my focus is the people.
Yeah.
Like even if you watch my shows, if you watch what I do on Thizzler, we take random people who nobody really know.
Yeah.
Get on and do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why they call me C.Lee for the people. I'm not really for the industry. I'm really for the people. So I build with them. So and that's what Charlemagne and Wendy Williams said. That they said you either gonna be for the industry or you gonna be for the people. And I'm choosing the people. You know what I'm saying? And the industry, that's cool, but I'm gonna focus more on the people, the regular average Joes that nobody really focused on. That's what I'm on. Cause like this shit'll swallow you. Like a lot, and I'm gonna even get deeper. A lot of people won't acknowledge this, but fake relationships hurt. What I mean by that is, if you become a rapper or if you become a media personality and you start befriending all these people that you might have looked up to or people that you fans of their music, it's gonna hurt when you realize
he's a fucking piece of shit or something,
or the piece of shit, or this relationship is fake, or they only trying to use you for clout. That's gonna hurt you emotionally. Nobody's gonna say that because we so brolic and afraid to be vulnerable. But that's gonna hurt your feelings. So why even put yourself in that situation? Now, if somebody's genuine, you gonna know they gonna genuinely want to fuck with you, and you gonna genuinely want to fuck with them. But outside of that, I stay away. I'm gonna keep it real because that shit.
It's low-key a disorder right now, man. I feel like a lot of people with the social media shit like are losing themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like a lot of people don't even realize that they're doing things in intent to like impress people, but they're just saying like, oh, I'm making content for myself, this and that. But a lot of it is catering to just a reaction.
Absolutely.
Like with the whole 6ix9ine situation, like I don't even know if that's even healthy for people to see and shit, because I feel like it's low-key testing the principles and morals that people grew up knowing. And now you got people acting out of character just for reaction, which is what, Rex Live Raj talks about a lot of time, is that everything is based on attention. And people just have to like, they do things out of what people are going to say in reaction to.
And you know what's fucked up? And here's what I'm learning, and I could be absolutely wrong. That is a necessary evil of this industry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Balance.
If you're not getting attention, people ain't going to buy your tickets. People ain't going to buy your merch. People ain't gonna, check out your live shows. People ain't like you, and then the sponsors ain't gonna come. The bookings ain't gonna come. You got to get attention. And I learned this dealing with promoters. Promoters are studying niggas' page, looking at the comments, looking at your likes. They're looking at the attention you get, and if you drawing attention, they gonna pay you to book you to come host whatever they got going on. If not, no, nobody give a fuck about you. We're not booking you. So it's like it's a necessary evil because you have to get booked to be able to survive in this industry, to pay your bills. You got to get booked to be able to, pay for videos if you're an artist. You got to get booked to pay for content. You got to get booked to pay for editors, to food. You have to get booked. So it's a necessary thing, but it's evil as a motherfucker. It's evil at its core, you just trying to get attention. You just trying to get attention for yourself. You're trying to glorify self essentially in a certain way. So and that's not healthy, but it happens and everybody does it. You know what I'm saying? It definitely happens. And with 6ix9ine, I mean, what's fucked up is he's successful. And what I mean by that is even when he's gone, he laid the blueprint out. So somebody gonna come right up and boom, do it again.
I've already seen people take that blueprint in their own ways.
You know what I'm saying? Like he laid the blueprint and it's working and it's still working. So it's like he's here. He exposed certain flaws within the industry. He's exposed certain loopholes and flaws within the entire ecosystem, and he's exploiting them.
Yeah, for sure. He's using their shit against them in a sense.
The game guy's gonna come get him at some point, so I don't really worry about that. But what it's gonna be more to come. So I think people just need to buckle up and get ready for the ride because it's gonna be more to come. When he's gone, it's gonna be somebody next up because they see it works, and the people that's backing him, see it too.
Yeah, I heard about the label paid him $3 million to troll Lil Durk. I don't know if that was his label or Lil Durk's label. I don't know how that works.
I seen that.
I heard an article, but I was like, what the fuck? It do make sense, though. It do make sense.
He laid the formula out, so people have to understand from a business aspect. Once the formula has proven to work, soon as he's gone, people fuck 6ix9ine. Guess what? It's about to be a 30 most 6ix9ine because that shit is, with them kind of crazy ass numbers he getting, the foundation is laid. And it's about to be troll rap, coming like a motherfucker, troll rappers.
Man.
And they gonna go to even worse extremes. The extremes are gonna get worse and worse and worse because they get attention.
Yeah, man. I mean, I miss the battle raps where people actually just made songs against each other, even though that is still commonly happening now. But at a time, it was like a point, and it was like out of respect. You know what I'm saying? We were testing each other's talents and seeing who could actually lay the flow better than one another. Now it's like, oh, who could really, point out some fucked up shit just to get the response. So it's definitely weird times. You know what I'm saying? It's low key impacting the culture a certain way, but within time we'll see. Like you said, the gods will do.
I love battle rap. Shout out to the URL. Shout out to John the Don. Shout out to Chilla Jones. Shout out to King of the Dot. Like battle rap, I love battle rap. So
yeah, man, that shit.
I'm
trying to get into some making some content, some shows like that, man. That's definitely something I'm interested in.
I love battle rap. Shout out to everybody in the battle rap. Jazz the rapper. Shout out to I love battle rap.
I heard in Chile they got a battle rap competition that they have 10,000 people come to.
Hell yeah.
In Chile, fucking freestyle rapping in Spanish against each other. Motherfuckers gonna kill each other.
The UK is big over there. It's big. It's big. Right now, they still doing battle rap. It's just no audience because of the COVID. But
yeah,
battle rap definitely going up. They got the Caffeine app, you know what I'm saying, with all the battle rap on it. So yeah, shout out to
them. And, some of the last things I want to ask you about, just because, this is something entrepreneurial bias, you know what I'm saying? And I want to ask you how you've been able to kind of, capitalize, audible, pivot during this pandemic, for your personal brand and with your businesses. How have you been able to kind of maneuver throughout all that stuff? Because, there's a lot of people right now struggling, figuring out solutions. So maybe they can pick up something what you have kind of applied for yourself.
That's why it's just beautiful to carve out your own lane. I was doing Instagram Live before it was a thing.
Yep.
I was doing Instagram Live, so I already have an audience. I was doing Instagram Live on Thizzler before this. Yeah. So that don't stop. That actually just more people are online.
Yeah.
So that's how I just been working. What I did was just start creating more content. You know what I'm saying? Like you'll catch me on a late night playing R&B music. I was doing a morning show for a minute. I'm doing 3 shows a week on Thizzler. I'm doing my show 3-4 times a week. So how I capitalize this, I put out more content. Put out more content. Just feeding the streets. Everybody's online.
Yeah.
Let's just put out more content. I even start gotten into doing skits. I got some skits finna drop.
I saw one of your old skits when you were like doing a photo shoot and shit.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? With Nate though, I'm start doing skits. It's content is king.
Yeah, it is.
At this point, if you're a content creator, that's how I look at it. Just keep good quality content. Some of it gonna perform well, some of it not. But shit, you never know. Somebody else different might see it and might become a fan.
Yeah.
But as creators, it's our job to produce and put out content. If you ain't putting out content, you bullshitting. That's for all creators. So that's what I did. I'm like, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come out this shit greater than I was before.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When this shit is over and shit open back up, when I step out, it's gonna be like, I was watching you the whole damn COVID. I was watching you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm gonna keep banging their ass over the head with content.
Hey man, be fearless. I fuck with that shit, man. Off tops. And a personal question I want to ask you, because I'm learning a lot from you right now. How do you now put yourself in my shoes real quick? So right now I'm doing interviews with people on the podcast frequently. I'm about to drop them, and they're gonna be pretty consistent. But my thing is right now I'm working on a docuseries right now on a story on an individual from San Jose who basically came from nothing and created something, and we're just filming that production. That's something I'm looking to drop in October. But now I'm trying to figure out other content ideas, but I'm in this box right now with interviews, and I want to get into other ideas, but based on how you've met me and what you know so far, what do you feel like would be a good route for me to experiment with?
I would do this, and this is honestly what I think, because you got so much going on. I would have a formula: interview, no interview, interview, no interview. Meaning, drop an interview with somebody, then drop something with you, or you just politicking, talking how you feel, then come back with an interview, and just keep boom, 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 boom. That way, you're not completely dependent on people, and you can have people invest in you. The numbers may not perform well as the interviews, but you have to start somewhere. You have to get your formula going. Plus, it's going to be easier than having to book somebody. They coming to San Jose. The scheduling.
Very true.
You can just depend on yourself and build like that, or get one of your homies. Y'all just debate or argue or talk about something and just Go like that. You know, get the people to invest in you, not the people you got on the show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's what my audience does. My audience invested in me. So when I sell merch, they buy it. When I do my shows, they buy it. When I have events, they come because they're invested in me. You know what I'm saying? So get people to invest in you, and you going to be all right. But you got to put shit out, though. You can't be hoarding content because it does you no good hoarding content.
Yeah, for surely.
So, and even if you can't talk for an hour straight, put out 15-minute or 20-minute episodes with you talking. You know what I'm saying? It don't have to be hella long.
Yeah.
It could be 5 or 10 minutes of you just
updated topics or something more recent.
Something you passionate about. You know what I'm saying? Get that shit off your chest. Use this as your therapy and put the shit out.
So another question I have is that, so I have my personal brand as BQ, which is Brandon Quintanilla, my full name in initials, which has been my name since like long as I can remember. And then EMLN is a separate entity, which is the platform, right? So if I'm going to experiment these ideas, would it make sense for me to create a show under EMLN, or would it make more sense to have a personal show on my own personal platform as my website or my Instagram, for example?
Me personally, I believe in personal simply because you got to give the people something to invest in. You know what I'm saying? Either one works. Whatever you do, you just have to be consistent with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Me, I like personal brands though, especially in the beginning stages because it's going to start with the people around you. Yeah. It's going to start with more than likely your friends or family or distant friends or cousins or however it's going to start. You know what I'm saying? High school, classmates or whatever. So I like personal brands personally, but either one works. It just depends on what you want to do. Do you want your face on it? Do you want to be the face of the brand, or do you want your logo to be the face of the brand? That's a preference.
Yeah, that's the thing too, because like I'm on my Dana White hype too, where I'm always in front of the camera. I'm very confident. I don't lack any shyness when it comes to doing the content. But then there's another aspect of me that's like, I want to create a business. You know what I'm saying? I want to create a brand, a business, and eventually, like, shit, bro, whatever I want to do with it, I can do with it. But it's like, that's the only issue. You know, I get in my thoughts and shit when it comes to the creative.
Yeah, just don't overthink it.
Yeah.
Because as a creator, you're going to do that. We overthinkers, and it's our gift and our curse. It motivates us and inspires us, but sometimes we think ourselves out of a good idea. We think ourselves into inaction. Just do it. You can figure the rest out as far as the name and the brand later. What your responsibility is now is to pump out content, build your audience. That's what you need, because what good is having all of this business intact and nobody to sell it to? Yeah. No, you don't have no audience to really promote it to. So what you want to do right now is get your content out and build it's going to one fan at a time. Yeah. One fan a day, one fan an episode. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're doing the right thing, doing the interviews, tapping into other people's, like, for example, I got damn near 19,000 followers. I'm going to promote this to my 19,000 followers, which is going to bring you tap into my fans.
Collaborative marketing.
Exactly. Yep. So essentially what I'm saying is, don't overthink titles and names. That's going to come to you once you start to build your audience. They going to let you know what they like. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And then it's going to be clear. So just get the content out. Yeah. Just pump it out.
Man, bro, you said it best, bro. Once again, thank you so much for coming down here, bro. I really appreciate all the game and all the insight that we're sharing right now, because I feel like I'm going to take a lot of this value, but I think a lot of people listening to this that, do watch your shit. Because a lot of people in San Jose watch your shit, bro. I'm going to be 1,000. I fucking know a lot of people in San Jose, and I know a lot of people know who you are. When I said I'm about to bring C.Lee, they said, C.Lee? You about to bring C.Lee? Nah, bro, I got to slide through, bro. I got to slide. But I was like, I ain't going to tell you the time. But, you know what I'm saying? But the point I'm trying to make is that, you were going to be a big guest, and I wanted to make sure that I was able to kind of throw my 2 cents about San Jose and obviously find ways to improve what we're doing, learning from someone that's in the field, actually doing it in the trenches.
Absolutely. Shout out to San Jose. We're going to do another highlight for sure. There's a lot of talent in San Jose. We're going to double back. We're going to get it all right. Make sure y'all get it on. Make sure y'all dope. San Jose, I fuck with y'all. It's love.
Hell yeah. And I was on that Instagram live too. I watched the whole thing. That was hilarious. I ain't going to lie. There was some people that low-key flop. I'm going to be 1,000. They flop. But there was like 2-3 people that I know like did their Dougie. And Young Gunna Quan didn't hop on. That's like my little bro. Motherfucker should have been on that shit. I know he was like following up with you, but he catted off. And then Cuddy Banks is the last guy, and he was only on there to give a shout out to himself, and he
didn't want to rap.
But Cuddy's real nice with it right now. He's real nice with it, but he do his Dougie the way he do it. But yeah, man. Is there so how can people support you? How can they buy your merch? How can they stream your content? What's the best way to go to support you?
Follow me on Instagram at the C.Lee brand. Just tune in, man. Follow me. What other apps I got? Shit, I forgot. Just follow me on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? You can follow me on Snapchat. Not Snapchat, fucking on
Twitter.
SoundCloud.
Oh, SoundCloud.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know, listen to my old podcast I was doing in 2016. This is like 20-something, 30 episodes up. Just follow me on the gram and tune in to what I do, man. And you know, just tune in if you need any information. Just tap in and let's build. Let's do business.
Real genuine individual, real. He didn't have to respond. He got 18,000 followers. Could have responded to all the other messages, but decided to follow up, come through, drive all the way to San Jose, an hour-out drive. So that speaks a lot about your character and who you are as an individual. So once again, Thank you so much. And for the audience, make sure you guys stream everything. Make sure you go to the SoundCloud. I want you guys to stream it at least 3 times per episode. Go to his website, purchase his clothes, and any way to support, make sure you guys do that. All right? But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and conclude the podcast. Yeah. It ain't exclusive if it ain't an EMLN exclusive. This is your boy BQ. C.Legal for the people. Yeah. Low Key Facts Podcast, and we out.
Yay.
Peace.